Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.
When I take a critical examination of these men who are called incels, I see men who don't appreciate how blessed they truly are. Because when I look at your incels, they are in an incredibly blessed position because they have the freedom to have a stronger and more intimate relationship with the Most High. Now, your incels primarily believe that they are miserable, but they don't have to be miserable if they change their perspective of self. Now, many incels out here believe that they are worthless and that their lives are so bad, primarily because they cannot get these opportunities to have sex with women. Now, the big problem with your incel is the fact that they put women on pedestals and they worship women instead of the Most High living God. And this is a violation of God's first commandment in the Ten Commandments, where he said, "Thou art not to have any other gods before me," and Jesus' first commandment, where he said to love the Lord with all your heart, soul, and spirit. And these men have placed women and primarily sexual intercourse above the Most High, and they have made it into a god, and they believe that if they cannot get a relationship with the woman who is their god to give them sex, then they will not be allowed to graduate into manhood. And this is a lie that comes straight from Satan, because the Most High made you a man, and it's because he made you a man is the thing that defines your manhood. And it is your relationship with the Most High that defines you as a man, and the work that you do on this earth as a man for the Most High living God. Now, if we take a look at the Apostle Paul, a man who had followed the Most High and was single for, I believe, his entire life, he was someone dedicated to doing the work of the Most High once he was given his commission. Now, the Apostle Paul said in the 1 Corinthians in chapter 7, verse 1, that it is good for a man not to touch a woman. And the reason why he said that is because many men thought that there was something wrong with them for having sex outside of marriage, and the Apostle Paul wanted to clear things up. And he says in the Bible that it is good for a man not to touch a woman, because a man who has not had sex with a woman is primarily focused on doing the work of the Lord. And a man who is focused on doing the work of the Lord is in a good place because he has placed the Most High as first in his life, and he is focused on pleasing the Most High above all others. So this man is a God-centered man because God is the center of his life, and because God is the center of his life, he is in a far better place. And your incel can also be in a far better place if he focuses on putting the living God, the Most High, first, and focuses on looking to do the work of the Most High here on earth, because that standard is far above the standard that your Madison Avenue and Hollywood have established for boys at a young age. And your Madison Avenue and Hollywood are the big problem as it relates to the development of many young boys out here, because Madison Avenue and Hollywood, they want to get boys on a gynocentric road, and they want them worshiping women so that they can get money out of those boys as they learn to grow up looking to when their validation and their approval, and the way many of these boys try to get the validation and approval of these women as they make them into gods and as an effort to believe that they can get opportunities at sex with them is by taking them out for these expensive dinners and buying them all of these expensive gifts. And what that does is take the boy from growing up into a road of manhood established by the Most High into a road that takes him down the road to whoremongering, and it doesn't allow him to have healthy relationships with women. Because when you follow the Madison Avenue and Hollywood road, what happens is instead of you looking to have your relationship with the Most High and Him providing you with a helpmeet and a support to have a relationship with, instead, what you are looking for is the validation and approval of other men. And this is the big problem with many incels, is that because they have made women into gods and made men into gods before the Most High living God, they seek out the validation of their male and female peers primarily, and they are having relationships to get their attention and approval because they want to get social currency with those people, but that social currency has no value and it doesn't allow you to build anything of tangible value. Even worse, you don't have a relationship with the Most High, and it's that relationship that is the most important of all, because the man is the one with the direct connection to the living God, and if he is not focused on having that relationship with the Most High, then the Most High cannot give him guidance and instruction on earth. And what happens with many incels is that they believe so much in the rhetoric of Madison Avenue and Hollywood that they make these institutions' ideas their gospel that they believe in, and they go out here and they seek out these false Christ and the validation and approval of these false Christ. And it's looking for that validation and approval from these false Christs that has so many of them angry, so many of them frustrated, because they go out here believing that this is the only way that they can define their manhood. However, their manhood was already defined by the Most High, the living God, from the day that they were born. And what's really sad is they have not received the spiritual education to understand that their manhood was defined by the Most High living God when they were born, and He defined that manhood when they were born male. So the Most High is the one who defines our manhood, and He is the one who defines how we are to be men, because it is His standard for manhood should be the thing that we need to follow first. And when we put God first, we are on the road to pleasing Him. And that's the most important thing that your incels aren't getting an education on, because they get indoctrinated into the false beliefs of Madison Avenue and Hollywood, which tell them that they need to go out here and have a girlfriend in order to be a man, and that they need to have sex with that girlfriend in order to be a man. Unfortunately, that road is one that takes you away from the Most High, and when you walk down that road, you will head down three roads that will really destroy you. One road you will run into is you will commit an act of fornication, and this act of fornication is a sin where you will wind up becoming one with a woman who will not be a helpmeet and a support. In many cases, she's in many cases a harlot. And what you are doing, if you do get involved with some women, you are making harlots out of women. So the two of you are not becoming one as the way God would want the two of you to be. So instead of you becoming a husband and a wife, what happens is you start heading down the road to becoming a whoremonger. And the road of a whoremonger is a man who is so caught up in his lust for sex that he's only lives to have sex with people, and he never really connects or bonds with them in the right way. Because when the Most High made marriage, he made it so that when a man and woman come together, they become one under him, and they look to build families under him, and those families are part of God's natural order. Unfortunately, when you get a Madison Avenue in Hollywood idea of sex, what happens is you start looking to get involved with women, but you're not looking to make your relationship with the Most High Living God first. So instead of you looking to please the Most High Living God, looking for a wife, you are just looking to run around and have sex with random women. And when you're looking to have sex with those random women, what happens is you wind up making women into harlots, and you wind up destroying them spiritually and emotionally, because they wind up becoming one with you, and your DNA winds up bonding to theirs. And instead of you connecting and becoming close as one that serves the living God, you wind up two separate entities who wind up spiritually lost. And that's what happens when you go out here and you commit an act of fornication. But a man can avoid fornication by having a wife, as Paul stated in the second verse of Corinthians chapter 7. So, as a man can avoid the fornication by having his own wife, and every woman having her own husband. But Madison Avenue doesn't want you to have a wife. And two, as going back into what I was talking to the first time, the roads that you fall down to and when you go out here and commit an act of fornication is, in addition to being spiritually lost, you also wind up possibly putting yourself at risk for venereal diseases, because men and women who are out here having casual sexual relations, as the devil wants them to do, they put themselves at risk for venereal diseases like your gonorrhea and incurable diseases like your herpes and your HIV. So they may have the social currency, but then they are of no other use to anyone, because their bodies are diseased and cannot bear any children. So they can't bear any fruit, and any fruit that they bear will be corrupted. So that's a road that winds up with these males spiritually lost. Now the third road these males walk down when they are out here is they become, again, these whoremongers. And again, a whoremonger has no place in the kingdom. And this is the road that many incels want to go on, because they believe that this is the way that is right, that they were told by Madison and Avenue in Hollywood, but this is a road that's going to take them straight to hell. Now, in the Bible, again, it says that there is a way that seems right unto a man, but in the end, that is death. And what Madison Avenue in Hollywood is doing by telling like an incel, that he has to have sex in order to define his manhood, and this seems right because it's placed in all of our media, but it is a road that takes a man down the road to a spiritual death. And it's a road where a man winds up spiritually lost and disconnected from the Most High, because your whoremonger has no place in the kingdom of heaven. And your whoremonger, yes, he will have a whole lot of sex with women, but he will have no place with the Most High. And your incel, he sits there and believes he's in a bad place, but he is actually in a blessed place. And I say that he's in a blessed place because when you are in this position where you're not with any women, you are in a perfect position to have a relationship with the Most High. And that's a place where you can grow spiritually, and you can learn about your relationship with the Most High God through the Bible, and you can grow closer to the Most High God by reading the Bible, and that can help you learn how to define your manhood and meet God's standard, which is a far better standard than the standard of the world. And once you meet God's standard, you can learn how to become a man the way God wants you to be a man. And your incel, again, is in an incredibly blessed place, but don't appreciate that blessed place because many are still caught up in their sin nature, many are still caught up in the world, and many still believe the rhetoric of places like Madison Avenue advertisers and Hollywood movie studios, which have told us over the last 50 years that in order to be a man, you need to have a woman and have sex with a woman. But again, God made the man first, and he made the man to be the head. And if God made the man to be the head, why should the man go out here and chase women and seek the approval of women and look to get his manhood from having sex with her? He shouldn't do that because, again, if he is the Most High and he made the man first and made the man to do his work, then he will provide the man with a suitable helpmeet and a support in a woman, and that woman will be someone who is right for him. And when he puts that man and woman together, no man will be able to tear them asunder because both that man and that woman will be focused on putting the Most High first, and they will be focused on doing the work of the living God first above all others. But the devil does not want to see men and women coming together to do God's work here on earth. What he wants to see is men and women out here having casual sexual relations like fornication, and then as they have this fornication, becoming whores and whoremongers, and as they become whores and whoremongers, they wind up becoming further and further away from the Most High, and they wind up becoming not able to come into the kingdom because there is no place for whores and whoremongers in the kingdom of heaven. And what the devil wants to do is deny you an opportunity to enter the kingdom and be with the Most High. That's the ultimate goal of the devil as related to things. And he creates ideologies like this, defining your manhood through a woman in order to prevent you from having a relationship with the Most High. That's what the devil wants to do, and that's why so many men are winding up becoming frustrated and angry, but there's no need to be frustrated and angry because you are in a blessed place and you are in a place where you can get closer to the Most High living God. And with your relationship with the Most High living God and you seeking the kingdom by doing his work on earth, focusing on your goals, God will facilitate by providing you with a woman at the right time. And all you have to do is do your work, and the Most High will deliver the woman to you when he is ready, because in many cases, for a lot of these incels, a lot of these men aren't ready for a relationship with a woman. A lot of these teenage boys definitely are not in a place where they are ready for sex or relationships because they are not mentally mature, not emotionally mature, and not spiritually mature. And this is something a lot of young men are missing because they are so caught up in the world. They're thinking that they're ready because Madison Avenue in Hollywood told them that they were ready. And I remember being in that place when I was about 15, 16 years old, and guys were bugging me about not having a girlfriend then. And when the Most High told me I wasn't ready for a relationship, then I decided to move on because I was having a better relationship because the Most High was in my life. And that was the thing that led me to just leave women alone in 1989, because one of the things I had was the start of my relationship with the Most High. And that's something many men out here don't appreciate. The opportunity to have out here is that opportunity to have a relationship with the Most High. Because when you have that relationship with the Most High, then he is the center of your life. He is the primary focus of your life. And when he tells you you are ready for a relationship, then you will have a healthy relationship